So recently, God has been teaching me to keep Him first and to hold everything else loosely, especially my loved ones. And for me, that of course would be my husband. And then I'm about to give birth to my first little baby girl in just a few weeks. So, you have so many expectations, so much excitement about what, your children will be, how they will grow up. You also have expectations for your husband, how, he's going to be a great father. He is a great man of God, and that's our hope and desire. But what God has been teaching me is that I need to be willing to sacrifice and surrender my loved ones over to Him, just like Abraham surrendered his son Isaac over to the Lord. And in fact, God tells us in the first of the Ten Commandments, He says, "You shall have no other gods before me." Now, you might be thinking, well, what does this have to do with my loved ones? Well, on one side, we can love our loved ones too much, and this can actually be a form of idolatry or idol worship. Our husband, he might begin to fall short of our standard of perfection when he is no longer the superhero that we have imagined him to be. And that's often when we'll try and take things into our own hands and make him back into that superhero. And this is where control comes in. And we as women, we love to control. And we want to have the perfect children or the perfect husband. And, this can actually be a form of idolatry. What's interesting is that when Abraham sacrificed his son Isaac, he saw this as a form of worship to God. And when we are worshiping, that's what God created us to do, is to worship Him rather than worship things. And so when we surrender our family, our loved ones, our husband and our children over to God, that's actually a form of worship of God, and that's loving Him, that's keeping Him first. So my encouragement for all of us today is to daily surrender what is important to us, surrender our husband, our children, our loved ones, surrender everything over to Him, and He will do above and beyond what we could ever ask or imagine. And that's the God we serve. He is the one who loves us, and He is the one who is always perfect, who will never fall short. So let's look to Him and keep Him first and hold everything else loosely.